Hello and welcome to the new episode of the Daily Fake News. International situation keeps intensifying. What is your opinion on that, Dr. Mearsheimer?
Enormous damage has been done to Israel's reputation and its standing around the globe. The fact that it's being accused of genocide and war crimes is, in my opinion, a disaster for Israel's reputation. That being my third point. My first point is that Israel is in deep trouble because it's back in Gaza. You want to understand that in 2005, Ariel Sharon, who was then prime minister of Israel, pulled Israeli settlers and Israeli military forces out of Gaza, and he turned it into a giant open-air prison. And the reason that Sharon did that is he fully understood that Gaza was a hornet's nest, and it made no sense from a strategic point of view to have Israeli forces in Gaza. And I believe he was correct. But if you look at what's happened now, the Israelis are back in Gaza in force, and they are going to be principally responsible for running Gaza for the foreseeable future. This is a disaster, in my opinion. Second, if you look at what's happened with regard to relations between Israel and Iran, Israel and Hezbollah, what you see is that Israel has lost escalation dominance. This is the subject we were talking about before. The Israelis have long believed that their deterrent capability depended very much on having escalation dominance. A good example of this would be what happened in Lebanon in 2006. In 2006, Hezbollah killed a number of Israelis and took, I think they took 2 prisoners. I'm not sure the exact number. 2 hostages. This is Hezbollah. They killed a number of Israelis, took some hostages. The Israelis retaliated, and they did enormous damage to Hezbollah and to Lebanon. Afterwards, Nasrallah, who was the leader of Hezbollah, said that if he had known what the Israelis' response would be to the kidnappings and the killings, he would have never done those kidnappings and killings. That's escalation dominance. The Israelis escalated after the killings and the hostages were taken. They retaliated, and they retaliated in such a forceful way that Nasrallah admitted that he made a mistake. Again, that's escalation dominance. If you look at what's happening now with regard to Hezbollah and Israel on the northern border of Israel, the war goes on, and Israel, despite the fact they're retaliating against Hezbollah, does not have escalation dominance. And if you look at what happened, this is even more important, in the exchange between Iran and Israel that took place on April 14th, that's when Iran attacked Israel, and April 19th, when Israel attacked Iran. The Iranian attack was much larger in scale than the Israel attack or the Israel counterattack, right? And there is no way you can make the argument that Israel has escalation dominance over Iran unless you want to bring in nuclear weapons. And of course, that just tells you that Iran is likely to try to get nuclear weapons. And there are all sorts of stories in the newspaper these days about Iran pursuing nuclear weapons more vigorously today than any time in the past. So, number one, Israel's back in Gaza, which is disastrous. Number two, with regard to Hezbollah and Iran, it looks like the Israelis have lost escalation dominance. And number three, the damage that has been done to Israel's reputation as a result of its policies in Gaza have been disastrous as well.